So in this session, we are going to do a DR test of the three-tier application, which we protected in the first session. So so we're going to go into the Site Recovery Manager on the AVS US side and execute DR test. We'll also show you the application, the production application running on the US side will continue to be up and useful while a copy is brought up on the EMEA side. Okay, so let's switch gears to our lab. Okay, I want to show you quickly here. This is my US side vCenter. The three VMs which we protected are running. They're powered on and happy. And then I'm going to switch to the EMEA side and show you these placeholders. The way to recognize these placeholders are, you can see they are not powered on, and they have these three dots on their icons. This reflects these VMs are protected placeholders running in the EMEA location. Okay, so next I'm going to go back to Site Recovery Manager. On the US side, I'm in the recovery plan, the one which we set up earlier. This has the three VMs in a single protection group. Okay, so I just wanted to show you quickly my three machines here. They're part of this recovery plan. To do DR test, we're going to select test. Okay, there. So I'm going to finish this and then go into recovery steps here. And you'll see these VMs starting to boot up. By default, the VMs are set up in priority 3. But earlier I had set up one of the VMs at a higher priority. So the priority 2 is going to boot up before priority 3 VM. So if you want to sequence, for example, if in a three-tier application, if you want to bring up a database first, you can prioritize that first, okay? And it will boot up first before the other VMs are brought up. And while these copies are coming up, I just want to make sure on my US side, the VMs are still in a happy state. They're powered on. I can log into one of these VMs just to make sure. Nothing affects my production environment. I can ping. Let me ping. I'm pinging the other VM also. They all look happy. Okay, that's just a quick check to see your production VMs are running okay. Going back to my Site Recovery Manager. So the recovery VM number 2 is already up, so I can go into my EMEA and you'll see this VM is already up. It's attached to that isolated subnet, which has been created in NSX specifically for this test. I've gone to my EMEA NSX just to show you that isolated subnet. As you will notice, it's not attached to any connected gateway, and it has a same gateway IP address of 129.10.1. It's the same one, like as I mentioned earlier, my recovery VM is also, recovery subnet is part of network extension, which I had set up using HCX, is also the same IP space. So 10.129.10.1 is the same as this isolated one. These do not clash with each other because this isolated segment is not attached to a gateway. So the VMs will come up on this isolated segment and be able to talk to each other. Okay, so it looks like these VMs are up. I'm gonna log into these placeholder VMs just to make sure I can get in. Which I can. Little bit of a lag. I'm going all the way to EMEA to get to it. As you'll see, it has the same IP address. I should not be able to ping the gateway. That should fail, which it does because it's an isolated segment. I should be able to ping myself, of course. And let me see if the neighbors are up. See, the 8 is up. And let me make sure. So if you want to do any DR test among these three VMs, they can communicate with each other in the recovery environment. So you can come in periodically and do DR test. Okay. So after all the testing is completed, you could either use your vCenter to log into the console, or you can set up a jump host in your recovery SDDC and do your application testing. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here. So the test is complete. It's successful. Next thing I need to do is clean up to make sure the placeholder VMs are powered down and all the storage and memory CPU is cleaned up on the recovery SDDC. Okay, so the cleanup is finished. I just want to make sure I go back to EMEA. You'll see these VMs are powered down and we are back to just those three icons, no green symbol here. Okay, so that concludes our DR test. So I'm gonna stop my recording.